Good morning, world. I am Judy, your web-based therapist, making therapy accessible and convenient for our clients in Florida and New York, and of course, sharing information worldwide. Today, I wanted to talk about 5 things that we as a community, as Black people, need to stop doing, because over the pretty much as long as I've been in this country, I've seen the same things repeated over and over again, and people get so agitated, so angry, and so emotional, and so passionate about making sure or demanding change, but after a few weeks, everything dies down and we are back to the same thing being played out on a different stage, maybe a few months, maybe a few years later. So today I want to talk about 5 things that we need to stop doing as a community. The first thing we need to do is stop begging people to act right so that we can support them. People love to quote Dr. Maya Angelou saying, when people show you who they are, believe them. As much as that statement is quoted, it's not playing out on the life stage. We say it, a lot of people say it, but I don't see it reflected in the way we organize or in the way we do things. Every other year, every other month, you see a major company that does something that they say is a mistake, and they apologize, and then it's a big deal. People go out, they protest, they march, we're boycotting this, that, and the other. Everything slows down, and then of course a few years later, this same thing is repeated, just in a different way. When we were young, most of us, our parents had somewhat of a act right stick or a regulator or one of those. As adults, we have act right sticks. We have regulators. Those are called our money and our vote. If people refuse to act right, we can make them act right by the way we choose to vote, by the way we choose to spend our money. If a company is not respecting the community, if a company is not valuing or is not understanding our value to them as customers, or is not understanding what we are, that we're supporting them, really. We don't have to demand that they start respecting us, that they start acting right in order for us to continue supporting them. There are other opportunities, there are other options, there are other people, other companies that are doing the right things. And even goes for the people we elect, because it's every other day you hear some politician said something ridiculous or something, just something inappropriate. And then everybody demands that I always say, if you need to demand an apology, you're not even in the game. Use your act right stick, use your vote, use your dollars to make people do the things that you want them to do. And if they are not willing to treat us the way we deserve to be treated, if they are not willing to respect us, if they are not willing to value what we bring to them, we can take our money, we can take our vote and go elsewhere where it will be appreciated and accepted. So we don't have to keep demanding and insisting and marching for people to act right so that we can give them our money. 2, we need to stop letting people egg us on. And a lot of times in these moments of crisis is when you see it the most. Something happens, the community gets really passionate, the community is upset, the community is angry, and you have all those people, not necessarily even from the community. And when I say community, I don't even just mean Black community. Like something happens in Florida and all of a sudden you have people coming down from Georgia, people coming from all other states, getting people excited, getting people out there, inciting riots even sometimes. And then, of course, they get to go home and go to their regularly well-maintained homes and well-manicured stores and stuff like that. And of course, our community is destroyed. But the other thing they're doing is when they're egging us on and getting us to act in anger, they're getting us to go away or turn away from the real issue that we need to address. When everybody is having you work or invest your energy in angry actions, they're taking you away from the opportunity to sit back and have passionate and have clear, well thought out discussions on what needs to be changed and doing the work that it takes to really change things. While it's great that when riots are great for TV ratings, riots are great for news, not as much sitting down with community decision makers and getting laws and laws changed and things like that. Those don't exactly make great ratings, but things like, hey, people are rioting, people are looting, people are like, those are really great. So we need to be very careful about who we are allowing to guide our movements, who we're allowing to guide our decisions, who we're allowing to influence the things that we do in our response to certain things. 3, we need to stop having meetings to have meetings. Whenever things happen, people want, a lot of times, a lot of the community leaders want to sit down and have these meetings and then we have another meeting about the meeting we just had. And then let's have another meeting to discuss this meeting. Seriously. Meetings need to have a purpose. Meetings need to have a point. Meetings need to have an agenda. If the purpose of the meeting is for everyone to come together and vent, that's great. Let's say, hey, we're having a venting session. We're going to sit down and we're letting it out. That is therapeutic. That is a great thing. However, we can't just keep having meetings every other day, every other week, and not come up with solutions. Meetings need to be coming up with something. At the end of the meeting, I like to see something tangible. I like to see, okay, what have we accomplished? What have we decided on? What are we working on? I like to end every meeting with a list of action steps. What is this person doing? What is that person doing? We need to start focusing. We need to stop having meetings just to have people shout and scream and complain and discuss and everybody says the same thing and then have nothing to show for it. We need to start focusing. We need to start conducting our meetings the way major corporations conduct board meetings. They don't just have a meeting to sit down and just talk and have a meeting. They have a meeting with a purpose, and we need to start putting some purpose, putting some meat behind all these get-togethers. Every time we come together, we have all these conversations. And at the end of the day, not a single person or maybe 1 or 2 people has an assignment, but the rest of the people just get to go home. That is not acceptable. 4, stop falling for the pandering. It's old, it's tired, it's used, for me, it's a little bit condescending. Because they come out, a lot of people come out and they do these things trying to tell us that, hey, we're one of you, we support you, we're part of it, we're down for your cause. And they do these things like, you know, when the people come in and they're gonna talk all cool, they're gonna talk all black because like we don't speak English. Or they'll do something that's overtly out of the norm, something that actually brings us absolutely zero value. We need to stop doing that. We need to stop allowing people to come into our community or come into anywhere and pretend to support the things that we want, the things that we need, and just throw words at us and do all these empty gestures to pretend that they're with us, and then turn around once they got what they need, they just turn around and ignore us until they need us again. No, we need to have, when people come to us, they need to come as they are. We can't have people come in with these fake actions, fake words, and fake whatever. No, it's not acceptable. Just because someone comes in and, hey, I could boogie, I could dance, I got some black in me. No, I don't need my community, my decision makers to have some black in them. I need my decision makers to be concerned about what concerns me as a black person, what concerns the next person as, like, hey, if my decision makers are black, great. If my decision makers are not black, fine. It just matters that they are caring about the things that are important to us. We need to make sure that people understand that we don't need them to start acting like one of us. We just need them to start behaving in a way that shows that they care what is important to us, and that it's not just when they need us, that it happens every single day. Finally, we need to stop falling for the illusion of change. The illusion of change is what happens when we ask for something and they give something that seems like, hey, that's progress. But in actuality, it really does not fix the issue. And we get that so often where we go out, we have all these marches, we have all these protests, and people go to DC, people go to Tallahassee or wherever, and they demand, hey, we want change, we want change, we want change. And then the decision makers come back and say, hey, we're going to give you the shiny little thing right here. It's pretty. Look how shiny it is. We're going to wrap it in a nice little bow. And then now we're all celebrating because they're having a big party, big celebration saying, hey, we gave them change. No. When we want something, when we're asking for something, we need to know what we're asking for and to stick with what we're asking for so that we're not allowing other people to distract us from what we're asking for. Right now, one of the biggest things that people are asking for, or that we want, even though I don't hear as much of the asking for it, is change of police reform. But we have not really focused on what exactly it is that we want, what exactly it is that we're demanding, what does that look like? Those are the things we need to be focused on so that they don't give us people don't start giving us things like, hey, they're going to start wearing body cams, but they only upload it once a week, so you never know what's going to happen. Yeah, we're going to change things down at City Hall, but no, we need to start making sure that we know what we ask for so that we don't let people pretend to give us something by giving us a shiny little thing that means absolutely nothing. Okay, I'm off my rant now. Let's do a quick recap. 1, stop begging people to act right. Let's use our act right sticks. We got the vote, we got the dollars. Those are the things that they speak. I tell you, politicians may not speak English, but they do speak elections. 2, stop letting people egg us on. We need to know what we're about. We need to know what our purpose is, what we're looking for, so that we can focus on it and not let people distract us from our message. 3, stop having meetings just to have meetings. Let's focus. Let's take the time and work on actual plans, on an actual agenda. 4, stop falling for the pandering. If someone has to act like they're one of you, one of us in order to get our support, that's probably because they don't even realize what we're about. And finally, stop falling for the illusion of change. If we ask for something, that is what we want. We don't need people to give us some other little thing that's pretty and shiny to make us go away. We need to make sure that when we ask for something, we stick to what we're asking for so that we can get it. As always, if you or someone you know happens to be going through something that's more than you can handle, please remember that even right now when so many things are so chaotic, there are professionals like myself, not going on a rant, who are available, able, and willing to help, and even providing remote services. So please figure out who those people are in your community so that if you need them, you can reach out and get the help that you need. And that is all we have for today. Good morning, world. Have an awesome day.